Hi everyone. In this video, we will learn about third application of Clojure, that is in debounce and throttle function. Okay. So first we will see what is debounce and what is throttle. Okay. Then we will learn how can we implement it ourselves. This debounce and throttle function. Fine. So first let's see what is debounce. Okay. So suppose that there is input field. Fine. Where user can type something, and on each type, on each key up, we are doing some API call. Like suppose that this is a search bar in any e-commerce website. Fine. So when you just want to search something, some product, then you will type it. Then on each key up, API call will happen. Okay. And then in the API call, there will be some suggestions. So that suggestion will be shown to user in a drop down. Fine. So suppose that here we are just doing an API call, and we have just instead of doing API call, we are just log just that we are doing API call, and we have commented a API call function. Fine. Okay. So if we type something, so you can see that on each type we are doing API call. Okay. Okay. So suppose that the user is typing apple. Okay. So the word apple consists of 5 letters. Okay. So while typing it in each key up, one API call will happen. Like see here, APPLE. Okay. So this doing API call, like what we have mocked it here, instead of doing the actual API call, you can see it is logged 5 times. Okay. So we can see that this API call is happening 5 times. Okay. So this will increase the network call, and also the user can see jitter in the drop down. Okay. So this is not very optimized way. Okay. So we can improve it, we can increase the performance, and also we can optimize the UI and network call by using debounce. Okay. Okay. So what is debounce? So in debounce, like in this input field, we have a event handler attached to it. Okay. So this is the function event handler and the input chain. Okay. So if we use debounce on this handle input chain event handler, so it will get called only after a certain delay of time has been passed after the last firing of this event. Okay. Like if we type keep typing, then only if we leave typing and a certain amount of time has been spent, then only this event handler, this handle input change will get called. Okay. So this is what debounce does. Now how can we implement it? So let's try implementing it. Okay. So let's create a function debounce. Okay. And this debounce function will take a function in argument and return the optimized version of that function. Okay. And we need a certain delay, like the delay between two subsequent event firings. Okay. So we will take that delay also in the argument. Okay. And we will create a variable timer, which is used to maintain that set timeout. Like we will call the function after a certain delay has been passed. Okay. So that's why we will use set timeout here. Okay. So this debounce will return a optimized version of this function. Okay. So this will return a function, and this function, the function which we are giving it to debounce, it can have argument. Okay. Multiple arguments. So we will take it in arguments array. Okay. So this is split operator which converts all the arguments in an args array. Okay. And now if we already have some timer started, then we will clear the old timer. Okay. So we will use clear timeout function to clear the old timeout. Okay. And then we will assign a new set timeout to this timer variable. Okay. So set timeout. Fine. And this set timeout takes delay. So we will give this delay, and we will call this function. Okay. Function.call, and pass this and this set of arguments. Fine. So our function will get called only after a certain delay of time has been passed. Okay. And if we keep calling this debounce function again, like if we keep typing here, so it will keep clearing the previous timer. Okay. And it will start the new timer. Fine. and when a certain delay is passed, then finally our function will get called. Okay, so let's use it here. So this is our event handlers, handle input change. So we will make a new variable, handle input change OP. So this is optimized version of our handle input change function. Okay, so this is handle input change OP is devons of our original handle input change. Okay, and let's give a delay of 200 millisecond. Fine. Now let's check it. Okay, so if we start typing, suppose I type my name ADITYA. Okay, so sorry, we have not used it our function here. We have to pass instead of our handle input change, we will use our optimized handle input change. Okay, fine. So now let's type my name ADITYA. So you can see that this API call is happening only 2 times. Okay, so like if we keep typing, so you can see that the console logs in we are not getting any API call, and even after we stop typing, then only after certain delay of time we get the API call. Okay, so that's how we can optimize a search bar or any input field. Okay, using devons. Now let's talk about throttling. Okay, so suppose that we have a game in which we have a gun which shoots a bullet. Okay, so this button shoot is used to shoot the bullet from the gun. Okay, so when we click on this shoot button, then it will fire a bullet. So it will actually fire a bullet in real, but for here we have mocked it. Okay, so we have just console firing a bullet string, and we have just mock a firing bullet function. Okay, so for now, in this case, we have just mock firing a bullet. Fine. So when we click on this shoot button, then this will fire a bullet. But in a gun, there is a certain delay of time between the two firings. Like if you fire a bullet, then you will not able to fire the another second bullet again immediately after that. Okay, so there is certain delay. So if we keep clicking on this shoot button, then it should not work immediately after the last click. There must be a delay between the click. Okay, so we can have this feature by using throttle function. Okay, so what does throttle function do? So in throttle function, when we pass this function handle button click handler, which is a event handler of the click event of our button. Okay, so when we pass this function in the throttle function, then it will return a optimized version of this function, in which this function will get called only after a certain delay between the previous function call. Okay, so the certain delay will be exact delay, like exact duration, not less, not more than the delay. Okay, so let's suppose that the first function is called at 1 second and the delay is 5 seconds. So the second function called at 5 seconds. Okay, so after the delay of 5, and let's suppose delay is 5. Okay, so this is throttle. Like in throttle, there is always a certain delay of time, a fixed delay of time, not less, not more, between two function calls. Okay, so that's throttle. Now let's see how can we implement throttle function. Okay, so let's make a function throttle. Okay, and this also take a function as argument and a delay. Fine, and inside of it we can maintain a flag to know that we can call our function this function or not. Okay, so let name the variable flag equals to true. So initially we can call the function, so that's why we have set it true. Okay, and it will return the optimized version of this function. So let's return a function from here, return function, and it can have arguments which are the arguments of this function. Okay, these argument, and then we will check if we can call this function or not. So if flag is true, then we can call this function. So we will call this function. Okay, with that set of arguments. Okay, and then after calling it, we will make the flag false. Okay, so if the user click on that button again and the certain delay has not passed, then this flag will be false, so it will not be able to call the function. Fine. And then after certain delay, we will set this flag to true. Okay, so that it can get called after the certain delay of certain period of time. Okay. Okay, so that's all. That's the implementation of throttle function. Now let's test it. Okay, so here also we will create the optimized version of our event handle button click. Okay, so we will name it handle button click op equal to this throttle, then handle button click. Okay, and let's take the delay of 200. Okay, and let's use this function here in our event handler. Okay, now let's click on this shoot button. So initially it will get called, and if we keep clicking, the delay is so short, that's why it is we are not able to replicate it. Now let's start again. I have made the delay to 1 second. Okay, so initially we will call, and if we click clicking, you can see then even after we keep clicking, it is calling slowly. Okay, because our delay is 1 second, so it will get called only 1 second of time has been passed since the last invocation of this function on this event handler function. Fine. So this is throttle, and that's all in this video. We covered devons and throttle. I hope it helps. Thank you for watching.